Hello YouTube. Welcome to a beautiful after work ride. Just taking a nice relaxing ride. Gonna go out around the lake. This is Lake Koronis. There's the sign right there if you don't believe me. I'd never lie to you. Come on. Lake Koronis. And it's in the Paynesville area. Paynesville's town right over here. And yeah, just out for a nice relaxing putter around the lake. It's not going to be anything you know, exciting curvy roads or anything. There's some pleasant things to look at. Boy, I'm getting a bad glare. Hopefully it's not as bad on the camera here. We'll be going the other way in hopefully a minute. But yeah, good time. Nice relaxing ride. Do some reflecting on life. That's always a good thing to do. One of the things that I have been thinking about lately is and I started thinking about on the ride here, because every time I take out the Sportster lately, I don't know what's going on, what's changing, but if you follow the channel at all, I've made a few modifications to the Sportster. I put on different suspension and a different seat and comfort items. It's a SPORTSTER 48, so it's not the world's most comfortable bike by any means. Far from comfortable, but it's a fun little bike. I tried to, you know, make it slightly more comfortable, and it worked. You know, the suspension I'd recommend if anybody's looking for a little more comfort out of their Sportster. I definitely recommend that. I think the stock on this bike was 11.5-inch suspension, 11 and a half, somewhere in there, and I bumped it up to a 13.5. And what brand? I think it's Progressive. Boy, that's been a few years now. I'm pretty sure it's Progressive that I went with, but made a huge difference. I also upgraded the seat. Went with a Mustang seat on this thing. You know, I'm a fan of those things. And yeah, that road is blocked off. Along with that, you know, with the increasing the rear suspension, it kind of tilts the ass end of the bike up a bit, which puts you up a little higher, which then makes your riding position a little bit more aggressive, I guess you call it, where you kind of leaned over a little bit more. So watch for peds, everybody. Got the little slow statue, stairs going up to there. Oh, there's some cabins and stuff up there. I'm pretty sure you guys know how that works. They got the water down there, cabins up there. But yeah, I've been looking at some risers for this thing, just to kind of tame that lean over angle. I mean, this isn't the not enough to cancel the suspension or the blinker. It's not enough to, you know, really make it a pain in the butt to drive, but when you are driving, I lean over a lot more on this one than, well, I'd say ever since the suspension change, quite a bit more than my other bikes. And I was fine with it at first, and I probably maybe still am. I don't know. I keep going back and forth, but I keep thinking of they make like a 2-inch riser for this thing, and if that would give me a little bit more lift in the front end or in my arms, just to kind of make it a little bit more tolerable. I don't know why I keep thinking, you know, I don't really take this bike, you know, any further than a couple hours ride. It's got a tiny little gas tank, so you got to get off and stretch anyway, so it's not the end of the world, but just to get a little bit more comfortable. You know, maybe when I do take it out, every once in a while I'll take it for an all-day ride. Boy, there are a lot of those friggin' speed bumps here. Somebody went a little speed bump happy. It's been a while since I've been on this road, and I don't remember quite that many. But more on wandering. No idea what the hell I was talking about. Oh yeah, risers. Yeah, I keep thinking about that, and then I think, well, do I want to go with the risers, or should I just go with a they make like the 8-inch raised handlebars, and I think these stock ones are like a 4-inch, I'm guessing, looking at them. I don't really know for sure, I've never measured them, but they kind of look to be about that boat. So then they have like the 8-inch ones, which would put you up here and just kind of straighten out my back a little bit, or so I'm not quite so leaned over. I don't know, I keep going back and forth, a 2-inch riser or a 8-inch, which would give me 4-inch bars. I think if you do the risers on this one, I think you can, all the reviews that I saw on it where people putting them on 48 said that you don't need to change anything. My brake line is pretty tight on there, so I wouldn't be surprised if I have to change that one, but I wouldn't be opposed to upgrading this thing to a steel line brake line. You know, it's not a performance bike, but you know, just to take a little bit of that squishiness out of the front brakes. The brakes aren't bad, but you can always improve, you know. If you've got good brakes and you go to mediocre brakes, they don't seem that good. But I don't know what I'm saying just there, because these are fine, but any improvement would help. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else has done that to a bike like this or something like that. You know, they've either gone the riser route or slightly, you know, I don't want to go on the full on arms way up in the air type, ape hanger type things, just enough to just kind of straighten out my back a little bit. I still want this to be a little tiny bike feeling, and I don't want to lose that. This is just a fun little zipping around bike, and it's perfect for that. And going up a little steeper than I thought. Downshift to 3. Do some hill climbing on the old Sportster. But yeah, zipping around, and that's one thing, the gas tank on these things is tiny, but that's never really bothered me, just because of the fact that once you sit on this thing for an hour, you're ready to stretch. This isn't a plush, comfortable bike, so. But the beauty is you get a few minutes pumping gas, you stretch a little bit, and you're good as gold, ready to go again for another hour until you got to fill up the tank again. Circle of life. It's a perfect combination. But yeah, and I've also been looking at, I've already talked about before, but possibly in the maybe near future, maybe not so near future, looking for a little adventure style bike. Maybe not full on adventure, I just want to be something to zip around. There's lots of gravel roads and dirt roads around here, and a lot of them are kind of fun to tour on. I do that and you know, take the car, the Jeep out and tour some of those sometimes, but I think it'd be fun to do it on a little bike, and I keep thinking about that. But then I always start thinking, well, my wife used to ride, and that's a brave squirrel. My wife used to ride, and she's had 2 different bikes at 2 different periods in her life. When we first got married, then I rode a lot. She rode on the back constantly. Then she kind of decided she wanted to give it a try, and she really liked it. Had the bike, and we'd go riding all over. She would never go on long distance rides. If we went for a long way, she would just hop on the back of mine, but she liked going for little cruises around. And but she was always a little nervous going anywhere where there was a lot of traffic or anything, because she never really gained that confidence. You know, new riders are always nervous. It's, you know, if you're a new rider and wondering if you're doing something wrong because you're nervous going into traffic or something like that, that's normal. That takes some time to get over. You just got to go out there and do it. It's one of those things you're not going to just turn the switch on. You just got to go out there and work at it, and you know, it gets better once you learn the bike, learn what it does, that's an important thing, is to learn to read other traffic. When your life's on the line, like on a motorcycle, you start to pick up on little cues from other people quite quickly, and pay attention to that, trust your gut, and it'll be okay. You know, don't do anything foolish. Not until you can't tell the kids, don't do anything stupid until you're smart enough to know how stupid it is. Then you're smart enough to do something stupid. I don't know what sense that makes, but you know, it works out. once you realize how stupid it is, you know where your limits are, then you're willing to kind of take it up a little bit more. I suppose you learn your limits by doing stuff stupid, so deep philosophy, more on wandering. Here we go. But no, getting back to the wife, when we had kids, she kind of got out of riding. Then when the kids got older, she got another bike and we rode around. She had that thing for not very long, like 2 years. And she just decided, I'm not riding this enough, I'd rather just sit on the back of yours. And I think with the, you know, she got it in her head that if something happens on this thing, you know, they got the kids. Yeah, it's one thing if I go, I'm replaceable, but if she goes, she's their mom, she needs to be there, and I'd agree with that. But I keep thinking that, like one of those Can-Am Spiders or a trike, I think she would love that. Because she enjoys riding an ATV. Because, you know, you don't have to balance and she doesn't get as nervous. And I think on, like something like that Can-Am, it would be reminiscent enough of an ATV where I don't think she would get the fear. If there is a little bit of fear, I think she would get over it reasonably well, and she wouldn't have to worry about the balance or anything, and it would be a comfortable enough ride where I think she would really enjoy it. But I can't convince her. So if anybody else out there has gone through kind of the same thing, or if there's any guys or ladies or anything like that who has kind of had the same thing, either you know, went through on the bike for years and just decided to give it up because of fear. I know a couple of people, it's kind of why I make this video, is because a couple of people I know don't ride anymore, and I started just doing these videos so that they could watch some of the roads that they enjoy. I still go out and ride all the time and they don't, and I know one person decided to do a trike, but they don't ride it as much as I thought they would. But I think my wife would really like that. But you know, that's one thing that she's got to, you can't really push them to it. So you know, I just suggest and show her that it's there, and show her that, you know, it might be a good idea, because she did enjoy riding the bike back when we were younger, and she, you know, wasn't as worried about something bad happening. And I think that being off of the two wheels would possibly help that scenario. But yeah, like I said, if there's anybody else who kind of went through the same thing, you know, or decided that they really like, I don't know, something about those Can-Am things, having the two wheels out front, they just seem, I don't know, they seem like they'd be more stable, where you could still take a corner at a pretty good speed without having to, you know, slow down. You could drive it like a car, you know, you don't really have to worry. Some of the older trikes, you always hear about how they're a little wonky, and I don't know, I think that would just be weird looking at a motorcycle on your front end and not being able to lean it. Whereas the with the two wheels out front, I think I don't know, me personally, I think I would just automatically go into ATV mode, where you kind of hang your body over the side instead of just leaning like you would a motorcycle. And I think she would probably do the same thing. You know, she has a, like I said, enjoys ATV driving. But yeah, that's always one thing that I oof, that was a bad bump. Out on this nice quiet ride of deep reflection, whatever that's worth. Hopefully you guys, you know, if you're sick of me rambling on, you just push mute and enjoy the beautiful scenery and the views of me taking the bike on the ride. Like I said, that's how I got into making these videos, is for some friends who no longer ride, and that way they can you know, make it feel like you can get out. And I also did it because I live in Minnesota, and all winter long I just go stir crazy waiting to get on the bike, and watching these kind of videos helps me get through it. My wife thinks I'm insane because I'll sit there and watch these things hour after hour when I'm really wanting to get out on that bike, and she keeps saying, well, why don't you just sell one of the bikes and get a snowmobile or something like that? And I don't think that's quite the same. Not for me anyway. Plus, I don't really like cold, so that's not an option. I'm not a fan of being cold at all. Delicate. But anyway, I suppose kind of heading back into the part where this is no longer as scenic and the road is just getting worse and worse, and yeah, kind of lost my train of thought too many times here to where I really don't know where I am. That's, I guess, what you get with an after work ride. I'm kind of all thought out from being at work. Now I'm just kind of in I don't know, full auto mode, just going at it. But anyway, Lake Koronis, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're ever in the area, there's some beautiful parks on here. Probably should have highlighted. There's a couple of beautiful parks back there. Out in the middle of the lake, there is a island that has a park on it, and I know they have like a picnic area and a dock where you can pull up, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think there might be some of the first come first serve type camping spots there. You know, if you want to canoe out or haul a tent in your boat out there and set up camp for the evening, I think that might be allowed. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, Koronis Lake. It's a pleasant lake if you like that sort of thing, you know? If you're a lake person, it's a lake. They got water, they got boats, got it all. Anyway, if you made it this far, God bless you. Really, God bless you, you've earned it. Holy moly. And if you liked what you watch, yeah, give me the thumbs up, give me the subscribe. There'll be plenty more videos coming. There'll be, you know, watch some of the old ones, they're fun too. But yeah, like, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube stuff. And until next time, YouTube, God bless you. See you next time.